Hey everybody, Ron here from Fallout Hobbies and Jules.
Hey guys.
Sorry we didn't do a live stream yesterday. We kind of got hit with a ton of house moving stuff, but we're good today, and everything's more relaxed, and we're able to get back to doing some fun stuff for a little bit because we still got a few weeks before we move. Well, like 2.
Yeah.
Like 2 weeks. But anyway, so I am going to work on a Krang right now. And you know what? I forgot that I was going to send you a link for this.
For?
The download.
Oh, okay.
For the Krang.
That's okay. I'll post it after the video.
Okay. All right. This one, again, I downloaded it off of Cult's 3D from Prey Collection Studios. He's the same one that's been doing a lot of the awesome Ninja Turtles figures I've been doing lately. Here's a really cute one, Mondo Gecko. I think I'm going to do him next week because I'm going to make a decal for his t-shirt, which I think will be really fun. And I even sculpted a tiny pizza for one of the things I've been doing. So yeah, it's kind of like been very. Here's Mondo Gecko with a street pizza. So it's been very very busy over here. Here's Donnie from last week. Still working on him, but skin tone's looking good. I started painting some of his accessories and his mask and whatnot, so he's coming along.
And I just posted a link to Prey Collection Studios Patreon. For the record, we are not affiliated with them in any way. We just really like.
We just think
stuff.
they're awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just love the dude's artwork. I'm a patron myself. This is a Leonardo and Raph that I also downloaded from Cult's 3D. This is not Prey Collection Studios, these two guys, but they fit right in theme and they're pretty awesome. Raph's huge. He's huge. I mean, I think I might have printed him a little bit too big compared to the other figures, but whatever. They all look good when they're all up on a shelf together. So there's that. And yeah, Prey Collection Studios, he's got great stuff. It's like $5 a month and you get 3 figures a month and they're all kind of like pop culture things. He does a lot of Ninja Turtle stuff, but he has some really cool dinosaurs. He's got some cool Spawn figures, and he's starting to make some stuff from some older video games like Oddworld and StarCraft and stuff like that. So some pretty fun stuff. I really love this Mondo Gecko. He's so fun. I'm also printing another figure that's a mutated hermit crab, and both of them are going to have decals and stuff. So they'll be next week. I'll be doing some decals on figures, which will be fun. But yeah, let's get into this Krang. So far, I only painted the one thing I did that was different from the 3D download is I sculpted these little tentacles. Because in the IDW comics, which is what most of these are based off of, I've been reading through the IDW comics lately. They're pretty good. Whenever they show the General Krang, he's got like a couple extra tentacles hanging out. The 3D model did not have that. But they were easy enough to sculpt with some green stuff and just make a couple little like hangers there, which I think add a little bit more character to them. And all I did at this point was just 3D print him in pieces, assemble him, prime him black, and then spray him with German gray. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to spray a couple different layers of gray and black gray to kind of enhance some of the shadows and highlights of them. And then when that's all good, I'm going to start using a couple layers of Turbo Dork's Merple, which is kind of like a grayish purple that I think will add a little bit of like an alien metal texture to them. Kind of make it not, like in the comic books, they tend to kind of color them like gray, but it's kind of like a purpley gray. So since they're aliens, they're actually Utroms from Dimension X. So I figured make it a metallic looking metal. So And plus, I think the purple in this will go good with when I eventually make the paint the Krang brain dude himself, like kind of a pink color. I'm going to take my ring off so I don't get any paint on that.
Aww.
Aww. All right, let me start with some shadows. So I got Vallejo Black Gray. I'm going to thin a little bit of that out and just kind of start getting into some of these shadow areas here. Now, see, here's the thing. The Turbo Dork paint is actually pretty translucent. So if I get all the shadowing and highlighting of the suit done first and then just hit it with 1 or 2 layers of the Turbo Dork color, it'll kind of, you'll still see the shadows through it, if that makes any sense. So I just want to get that in there first. This won't take long at all, really. I mean, I'll be able to get the whole body and everything painted the way I want it within an hour for sure. And then all I'd have to do is paint the base, do a little bit of work on this laser cannon, and then paint the Krang head and the top of the android head up here. So it's not that much. It's not a hard figure, relatively speaking. I think I actually meant to say comparatively speaking there. Comparatively speaking. Which one's correct, babe?
Either or.
Either or.
You know, I actually forgot about Krang.
You forgot about Krang?
I know, right?
He's like the main dude. He looks like a piece of chewing gum had a baby with a brain.
It's actually not a bad description.
I watched this one turtle documentary, and they had the guy that did the voice of Krang in the original cartoon, and he was like, "I just tried to make Krang sound like a drunk Jewish grandmother."
Really? That's what they said in the documentary?
That's what he said he wanted to make it. I was like,
oh
wow.
my god, that's so terrible.
I was like, wow. But then you hear Krang's voice, and he's like, Shredder, why are you messing with those turtles?
Oh, now I remember.
You remember his voice?
The voice.
Yeah, it's so ridiculous.
That's actually a pretty good, approximation. Imitation.
You like my Krang voice?
Bob's laughing. He thought that was funny.
The Krang voice?
The Krang voice, yeah.
That's funny.
FYI, guys, I'm not saying hi to anybody. If you're, like, watching, I can't see everyone's names popping up like usual. I'm not sure why, so it's not that I'm ignoring anybody. So if you do have anything, just put it in the comments. Usually it'll tell me, like, who's, like, checking in, and I'll talk to, like, everybody that's the regular and say hi, but it's not showing.
Why is it not showing?
I don't know. I just work here.
Is it just being glitchy today?
It did that to me like a couple weeks ago too. It was weird. Where I could only see if people comment. Usually it'll pop up like with everybody who's watching.
Well, to everyone that's watching, sorry we can't see your names, but thanks for watching. Shredder. Sorry, now I got that stuck in my head.
I have that comedian from last night stuck in my head.
Patton Oswalt.
He's funny. It was exactly what we needed after yesterday.
Kirby. Yesterday was a day where we almost dodged 2 bullets. Not just 1, but 2. We ran into this guy who was a lawyer and seemed a little bit too eager to rent to us. And then we found just like a shitload of just negative things about him online and how he's like, hit people with thousands of dollars and like legal fees for like miscellaneous stuff, and he had all this like really scammy stuff in his like contract. Like if we died, he'd like sell all of our stuff off to try to like pay rent. And I don't know. It just.
Yeah, he kicked out, one of the complaints was he kicked out a decorated veteran or something after he was late one day. I'm like,
Yeah, like a veteran is late one day on rent, and this guy kicked him out, and then like threatened him with all these like legal fees. So, yeah. Anyway, like we had the contract ready, and we're like, no, we're not gonna deal with you.
But we found a place which is exciting, and the store is going to be moving. And we have lots of new stuff planned coming up and like digital downloads, and it's going to be good.
All sorts of stuff. So, yeah. So all that's going good. Alright, so now I switched over from doing a shadow to doing a highlight on the outer edge of everything. I'm going to make this a little bit more of intense of a highlight in a minute. I'm just kind of working up some layers. I just want to speak in the Krang voice all day long.
Oh God, please don't. Like we usually have we been asking like every week who your favorite turtle is. This week I just made it in general. Like who's your favorite Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle character, because villains are important too. I always like Shredder.
You know what I've been trying to find a figure for, and it's kind of hard to find like a good 3D rendering for, and I'm probably just going to sculpt them myself eventually when my skills build up. Super Shredder.
Oh, yeah.
Like Shredder when he's taking the ooze and he's all like jacked up.
Yeah. Like most of Northeastern PA.
Just as stupid, too. Just as fucking stupid. Just a bunch of roided up freaks getting mad at nothing. That's NEPA for you. Like that idiot down the street.
Bob says, the classic Wolverine Shredder. Yeah.
Is that this, Bob, are you talking about the Super Shreds? Super Shreds? When he's all got the extra blades coming out of him and stuff?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, Super Shreds is fun. There's a couple cool versions that I saw of him, depending on which like cartoon or comic you're looking at or movie. There's the one from the second movie that was pretty fun. But in one of the cartoons, there was a Super Shredder that was the same principle. It took the ooze and got all jacked up, but he had like bone claws coming out of him, and like his like mask turned into like a skull shape, and he had like glowing like blue eyes and stuff, and he was like pretty cool looking. So that would be a fun one.
He says, yeah, Super Shredder.
Yeah. I also really want to make Mutagen Man, the guy that's like all guts. He had like the clear body, and he was just like guts and a skull and a brain inside a clear tank. That would be hard to 3D print, but I could do it because I could 3D print.
How would you even design that?
Well, I'd design it in pieces, obviously, but like the core body and guts would be like opaque. And I would design a separate piece that would be the canister that holds them, but that would be printed in clear. And then I could do like polishing on it. So it gets to be like, you can polish clear 3D printed resin so that it's optically clear.
Yeah.
You just gotta like do the work.
Well, yeah, some of the Model Works pieces are like that.
Yeah, some of the ones for the Star Trek, like the deflector dish is pretty clear.
Yeah.
So if I did like that same kind of technique where I just basically polished the hell out of it till it was clear.
Hi, Alan. Raphael is Alan's favorite turtle.
Where's my Raph? This is the one I built the other day.
Nice.
He's got a thick neck. They made this one really bulky because he's like the angry, like, beefy
Yeah.
one.
Is that what you're going to do next week on the live stream?
No, I'm going to do Herman and Mondo Gecko.
Oh, cool.
Decals on them. Herman is a hermit crab that uses a dumpster as a shell. And then Mondo Gecko is just rad. So, but both of them are going to have decals because next week I'm going to focus on some decal stuff. Figures. Oh, I also got Casey Jones. He's probably, his arm didn't print out right, so I still got to fix that arm. But Casey Jones is probably one of my favorite turtle characters just because he's just beating the crap out of people with sports gear. And it's kind of hard to...
Alan says, that's cool. Bob says, sweet. And Nathan says his favorite is Rennet Tilly.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
That's a classic one.
It says Punisher on roller skates. Yeah, it's a good descriptor.
Mm-hmm.
So is anybody watching the Loki series? Because, oh my god, this week's episode, I don't want to give away any spoilers in case you haven't seen it, but oh my god, it was so funny and so ridiculous. Like, utterly ridiculous.
There's a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it was great because you could see, like, a lot of the stuff, you know, and landmarks, like in the other dimension or whatever, like from, you know, different shows, multiverses, whatever.
Like the Thanos copter.
Yeah, like the Thanos copter or the spaceship from Guardians of the Galaxy. Nathan goes, alligator Loki is the superior Loki.
He is the superior Loki.
Throg was in a jar. Yeah, that was
Throg.
great. That was absolutely great. I'm a huge Loki fan. It kind of makes sense, too. It's, like, funny. They're like, what makes a Loki? We survive.
Yeah, when Morbius is like, you can throw a stone anywhere here and hit a Loki.
Yeah. Yeah, it was good. I really enjoyed this week's episode. Like, Autumn and Kaylin had been dying a little bit because we stayed up and watched this grown-ups by ourselves, and then we're going to watch it again tonight with all the kids because Ron's boys will be over too. And it'll be fun. We're going to do a pizza night and just kind of have like a whole weekend hangout because it's Kaylin's 10th birthday tomorrow.
Yeah.
My youngest, so...
Our kids are getting older.
Mm-hmm. Bob says we should find an alternate roller derby girl version of Casey Jones.
Actually, interestingly enough, there was kind of a character that was like that in The Last Ronin, which was a Turtles comic book that takes place in like an alternate future where Karai, who is in some realities Karai is Shredder's daughter, and in some realities Karai is actually Splinter's daughter that Shredder stole and adopted. So it depends on which turtle reality you're looking at. But in this comic book, Karai is Splinter's daughter, and her son is like kind of like the Kylo Ren of Splinter. I mean of Shredder. Like the reincarnated Shredder, more or less, and runs like a neo-futuristic New York. And there's only one turtle left. And the important thing is they don't really tell you who he is for a while. And the one turtle has all the weapons. And Casey Jones's daughter is in that comic book series. And her name is just Jones in the series, but she basically fulfills the same purpose that Casey Jones does, but like in a young female form.
Did I ever tell you that when I was going through my divorce, I almost thought about doing like roller derby? I was gonna make like my name be like because I like Harley Quinn, so it was gonna be instead of like Harley Quinn, it's gonna be Harley Quill or Harley Kills because I'm like a writer too. I didn't know which direction I was gonna go, but I love roller skating. I can
Roller
skate
derby
pretty good.
was really popular in Philly for a
Really?
while.
Is it still?
I told you this, like back when we first started dating years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
You told me this?
Yes.
I wonder if they still have it. Well, probably not with COVID and stuff, but that would be fun.
Yeah, roller derby was really popular in Philly for a while, and it became kind of like a thing, especially amongst like the tattooed girls. So, hey, can you hand me that big thing of blue masking tape?
Yep.
Thank you.
Bob says, I man cheerleaded at some all ladies rugby games.
Nice.
Oh, I'm sure you did. Tell me why you really went to those rugby games.
I actually have a bunch of gay friends in Philly that are on an all gay rugby team, and I always thought that was fun. They're so manly, but they're so gay at the same time.
I don't know what to say about that.
They're just really like athletic and aggressive, but they're like very gay at the same time. It's kind of like breaking a stereotype a little bit.
Good for them.
You know what I mean? Like you would totally think they were straight dudes if you like didn't know any better. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like I miss like doing something active. I feel like roller derby would get out some of like my pent up aggression. That was why I wanted to do it when like I was going through the whole divorce debacle. But like more than anything, I just think it'd be like super fun.
I'd man cheerlead you. I'd go to your roller derby games and man cheerlead you.
Hey, I get in shape real fast. I used to roller skate like all the time when I was a kid. Believe it or not, like I remember back in the day when it was like the 80s, I had like these bangs that were like 5 inches tall, and denim was like the popular thing back then.
Oh yeah. the all denim suits. I'm using a little bit of somber gray right now to kind of smooth out some of these highlights. Somber gray also has like a little bit of a kind of a bluish purplish tint to it, so it'll help.
Holy shit! Thanks, Nathan. They're called the Liberty Bells.
The ones in Philly?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta get on that shit. That'd be fun. Bob says we all had $15 swap meet rollerblades. Oh, not me. I saved up my money. I had these,
Yeah, the fancy ones.
well, I didn't have roller blades, although I could do both. I had these roller skates with these, like, speed wheels that were, like, marbled, like, green and yellow. It's ridiculous. Gunther says his favorite's Donatello.
That was last week's video.
You should show it again.
He's right here. He's right off the camera. He's not done yet, but
You can't see it, though. You should show it to Gunther.
he's getting there. No, he's in the camera.
Ah.
I got him right here. He's coming along.
Nathan says Philly is a great town.
Yes, it is.
Well, Ron grew up in like Wildwood and lived in Philly most of his life. I'm originally from Baltimore, and I got sucked into NEPA.
Never
was like-
sucks.
Yeah, it's all the potholes. It just sucks you in. You don't like intentionally mean to like end up here, but you kind of do. It's kind of like the Loki episode that we just watched.
NEPA is the void at the end of time
Mm-hmm.
that the TVA created to dump all of its garbage from all the failed timeline.
Yeah, so we're really excited that we're going to be moving back down to like the Philly suburbs and civilization. Thunder goes, Donatello is sweet.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, we've been kind of on a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles kick for a couple weeks now. They're fun.
I just wanted to do something not as serious and a little bit more fun.
Aw, it looks like the Liberty Bells are still suspending stuff during COVID. I imagine they'll be back in like a year though.
Yeah.
Maybe 6 months.
Once everyone's fully inoculated and stuff. And there's the other roller derby teams that they compete against, so they got to make sure
Yeah.
all the other teams are.
They look pretty big. It says they've got like 80 skaters.
So this guy who, you remember that bar that I used to go to where I said I was friends with the owner and then the owner died of cancer last year?
Mm-hmm.
His wife was on the team.
Oh. Oh no. Huh. Well, Scranton has a roller derby too.
Yeah.
That's the one I was actually going to join before when I was thinking about it. So Nathan asked what the gray is. I said somber gray.
Yeah, I've been working through a couple different grays. I've been saying them as I've been going along. It started off with German gray as a base. Somber gray is one of the main colors, and then there's pale gray blue mixed with somber gray for one of the highlight colors. At this point, I've just got like a gray black, and I'm just enhancing some of the shadows a little bit before I get to the Turbo Door colors.
I did not mean to write sober gray, by the way. Sorry, spelling error.
Sober gray.
As opposed to a drunk gray.
This is like it's just a sobering gray. Okay, so I'm going to be able to get to the Turbo Door color in a minute. I'm just kind of finishing out some of these shadows here.
Bob says buzzkill gray.
Buzzkill gray. I like in the Turtles, the last Turtles movie when they're fighting Krang, and they rip his arm off, and then the arm just starts regrowing, and Mikey's like, guys, he's literally rearming himself.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah. We just got done watching all of the Turtles movies in chronological order, with the kids starting with the classic 90s up to the ones that came out in 2016?
In 2012 and 2016.
Yeah.
2012 was the first one. That was the one that was a little meh. It was Michael Bay, and he was still fresh off his Transformers stuff.
Mm.
And Shredder was all cybernetic and looked like a Transformer. It was a little cheese.
Yeah.
They completely recast Shredder for the second movie, and there was zero explanation. He was a foot shorter, looked completely different, and they were just yeah, Here he is. That's all you need to know. All right. Let me get this Turbo Dork color ready to go. So at this point, I've got this guy basically like shaded out, you know, some highlights, some shadows. It looks a little strong. That's fine because the Turbo Dork colors are going to kind of smooth it out a little bit. So I got Merple, and I'm going to just kind of get this really mixed up and thinned out a little bit and spray it in a couple consecutive coats. That I think will give it a really good, like, metallic kind of purple sheen.
Mm-hmm.
But you'll still see all the shadowing through it. Just bear with me. I really got to shake this bottle up. I haven't used it in a while. Get that bead in there. You can hear the little BB in the bottle. Are you laughing at me? Stop laughing. She's always laughing at me.
Lovingly.
Lovingly, right? Okay, let's see how that sprays. Looks pretty cool so far. It's like a blue purple. Come on. Maybe a little bit more thinner is required here. Hold on. I'm trying to get the consistency right here. I'm having some... There we go. That's good. Well, it was good for a second.
Oh, these are cute. I'm looking at new speed skates. I definitely need new roller skates if I do that.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. My old ones, like, they don't tell you this when you're a girl. If you have kids, little known fact, every time you have a kid, your feet grow bigger. True story. You used to have tiny feet. Not anymore. So my old roller skates don't fit me anymore. I think I like left them at the old house.
I wonder why that is.
Oh, I don't know. I have no idea.
I mean, I know it's true. I just wonder why.
Actually, there's a reason for it. It's a hormone relaxin, which loosens the joints around your pelvis. It also loosens the ligaments in your feet, which causes the bones to spread.
Huh.
Mm-hmm. True story. I learned something new today.
Yeah, so did I. I always thought it was so that the woman had more stability when she was carrying like multiple babies. Like how skate sneakers are very flat and wide on the bottom.
I thought we
Or like this stereotype of like the old grandma that has like 7 kids and her feet are gigantic.
Or they deliberately had your feet get bigger so your foot is bigger to kick somebody's rear end when they're not behaving properly. That's what I always thought.
I think nature would choose stability over violence.
I thought that too until, like, the last couple elections we've had.
Can't get political on here.
Oh, yeah, I'm being good.
We already had some guy thumbs us down on YouTube because he thought we were too liberal in a comment. Aww. Poor little maggot shed a tear.
There's room for everyone.
There's room for everyone, including freaks. Okay, I'm done. I'm done. Five less viewers next week.
I'm shaking my head over here. If y'all can't see it,
Alright, this Merple's looking pretty cool. I don't know how well this is translating on camera, but it's got a really cool, like, purple shimmer on it right now.
Kind of. It's kind of translating, but not great. We're going to have to take photos afterwards because I don't think the video does it justice.
The video's not,
Yeah.
Let's see if I could tilt it in the light a little bit.
That's awesome.
It's definitely like got a really like cool purple sheen, especially in the shadows.
I love turbo dark paints.
Yeah, they're fun. They're very fun. I'm still gonna hit this with like 1 or 2 more layers, but I want to give that layer a minute to dry. The thing with airbrushing turbo dork paints though is you have to clean out your airbrush frequently. The paint is very thick and the metallic pigment that's in it tends to dry pretty fast. So if you let your airbrush sit with the turbo dork paint in it, it'll really like kind of like coat up the inside of it. But that's kind of the nature of the game with those types of paints because there's a lot of metallic and color shifting pigment that's in basically a matte varnish base.
Or these are like my old speed skates, Rydell's. Man, they're cheaper than they used to be back in the day. My old ones were like 300 bones.
Well, skates are kind of more like an elitist thing now than they are. Not an elitist, but like a specialty thing. As opposed to like a common, trendy market thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I'm going to let this sit for like a minute before I hit it. I might use a different turbo dork paint on this gun to give it like a cool metallic effect, but I want to make sure I get the body done first before I do that. But that would, because I'm kind of seeing how the purple is shimmering off the edge of this, and I like that. But I don't want it to be the same purple as the body, because I want to have like some kind of differentiation. So maybe if I use like one of their colors, like Pearly Gates or Motherlode is pretty cool. Something like this might look pretty cool on the gun.
Bob says they've been replaced by Razor scooters, sadly. Yeah, I can attest to that. There's like 4 scooters in our backyard from our kids.
Yeah, we got some of those. It's hard to tell when Turbodor paint is dry because it's very glossy when it's done. I mean, I think I can see a few wet spots still, but I think, yeah, a majority of that is dry.
Yeah, it looks like about $200 in a mouth guard, and I'll be set. Gotta protect my teeth.
And some Percocets. You'll be hurting afterwards.
Vodka.
Wait a minute, having a little clog from the paint. It's kind of expected when you're using Turbodor paint or any color shifting paint, really. It's not the fault of the paint makers, it's just the nature of the product. It's hard to get a consistent flow with this. I got this on a really wide stream. I'm just trying to give it a nice even blast. All right. That's pretty purple. Let me give the airbrush a good cleaning out. What time do we have?
3:01.
3:01. We got a couple more minutes. Maybe I'll block out the base real quick. I'm going to have to give that airbrush a good cleaning after the video. But for now, I can move on to a few other things. The purple's still drying a little bit, but I can always work on blocking out the base a little bit. The base I will eventually airbrush. I have been using this black color, which is one of those like things that you see advertised, like the blackest black ink, blackest black paint, and stuff like that. I have been using one of them, and I gotta say, it's actually pretty good for blocking out sections of color. And it's the Stewart Simple Black. It dries like pretty much a flat black, but if you need to like block out some sections of color, or like color block some things if you're doing LED lighting, it's a really nice black to work with. And it's pretty damn opaque. Right. And I think I'll use that same black to block out the gun here, which I'm going to spray with a different color later on. Maybe just for fun, I'll make the hand the same color as the other gun. Consistency. I can't really do anything else until these layers dry, because the turbo dork takes a little bit to dry sometimes when it's in a couple layers like that. But I don't know how well you can see that. Oh, I fell backwards. I don't know how well you can see that in the video, but it's a pretty cool purple gray metallic, I think. What do you think?
I think it's awesome looking, and I don't think that you can kind of tell in the video, but it looks way better in person.
In person, yeah, the metallic really shows up better in person. I'll take some good pictures of this guy when he's done in a couple days. Anyway, I think that's where we're at for today, because I can't really touch this guy much more until he dries down. But there's not a ton more to do on him. I got to paint the head, the android head, and the Krang. And then I was going to airbrush some metallic patterns on the sections that I just blocked out black. And then just a couple little details that need to be painted. Not much, though. Just a couple little like areas, like the elbow, like the soft armor on the elbows and the knees and stuff. Very minor stuff. But I mean, he's probably about 70% there right now. So thanks for watching. And we're going to do some decaling in next week's video, which will be on Thursday, hopefully, I think.
Yeah.
Should be back to Thursday, yeah. And now we're just going to go hang out with the kids and do some family stuff, I think. So we'll see you guys soon, and have a safe holiday.